Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist Kerry Dean. We have our winter storm warning now in effect for all of the area. We'll look at that in a moment. The winter storm update, winds are expected to be up to 35 miles per hour. That falls below the blizzard criteria, but just barely. Rain, sleet, snow, all mixed. Different variations of that across the area. But keep in mind, every hour that it sleets or it rains, that takes away an inch of snow that we will not be getting. So we didn't want to see this come in here, but it did after we noticed it was in Alabama last night. It's made it here in southern Indiana. Blizzard conditions at times can be caused by just blowing snow. It doesn't even have to be snowing at the current time. Could be a clear sky, and you could still have blizzard conditions. That has to do with the visibility and the whiteouts that you have from the blizzard conditions. So it basically boils down into, occasional situation. The snow 4 to 9 inches, pretty big spread, but that's because it's going to be all tight and compact when it comes through the area. Snow to the north and west will be the heaviest. We're using Vincennes as the point here. Vincennes is the point to work from. 9 inches to the north and west, as I said, and 4 inches to the south and southeast, and to the east somewhat, it looks like. So not as much snow over there for Paoli Peaks, it doesn't look like, as the rest of the area. Winter storm watch in effect for everything. As Chris was pointing out to me a little bit ago, it covers every county in Indiana, and it does. I don't recall that happening in a long time. But anyway, winter storm warning now in effect for all of Illinois, or all of Indiana, and much of Illinois. So keep that in mind. Here's the storm. Doesn't look all that impressive, does it? It's just at about the time it gets here is when it explodes and starts to precipitate more. So we put it in motion. You can see there's, sitting here, the rain has entered into the forecast in southern Indiana and southern Illinois. Behind that, these are little bands of heavy precipitation, moderate precipitation ahead behind that. There you can see them, the heavier bands moving in. Momentary area of down here in the Gulf. I know it's going to happen. There it is. Snow. Can you imagine being out deep sea fishing and all of a sudden it starts snowing on you? Or in Florida, for that matter, it's going to be snowing there. Then the nation basically turns very dry and very cold. How cold? It's going to be down into the double digits below zero. Here's the current satellite across the area, at least the last frame is. You can see across northern Indiana, northern Illinois, there has been some precipitation. That is the actual cold front itself. It's taking its sweet time to get here. We need it to hurry up and get across the area so that it's cold enough that we get snow as opposed to ice, because you cannot work with ice in any manner unless you got salt on everything that needs salted. And salt doesn't work when you get down to a certain temperature. We're going to be at that temperature when it doesn't really work. Advance of the whole cold front, quite a lot of wind coming in at the higher elevations across Indiana, Illinois, and Kentucky. Then behind the front, the winds shift around to the northwest and eventually to the north. Could be a little bit of lake effect snow down across the northern part of Indiana, but it looks fairly light at this point in time. Maximum rotation and lift, this is a new element that we're using. Be really handy coming up with the storm season, but even with the snow situation, it's when there's a lot of lift out there. When there is rotation, we always look for rotation. This one predicts it out into the future. I'm going to step away, let you look at the full screen. You can see Saturday at 11 a.m. They're going to Sunday morning, and here it comes, marching across the state of Illinois, and the precipitation should begin here in Knox County near Vincennes now, right about there, which was around 8 or 9 tomorrow morning. And boy, it stays with us all day. Precipitation event currently will be going on tomorrow throughout much of the day, it looks like. We'll be talking a lot more about this and explaining it to you over the coming weeks. A lot of earthquake activity today in the Oklahoma City area, and 4 quakes in OKC today. Wow, they're bouncing around down there. Of course, the West Coast has their normal amount of activity. Keep in mind, here's what you've been waiting on. that this model changes. It changes hourly, or sometimes it seems like it changes by about every 10 minutes. But it's what is projected by the computer at this point in time. And, well, let's just put it in motion. Let you watch it. Here comes the snow, arriving in the morning, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m., something like that. And those are totals that the computer is projecting. Now, I know they are at the high end of what we're calling for, but they're still within the range that we're calling for. I'm a little bit, I think, in other words, I think that maybe Vincennes and Petersburg might be a little bit overdone, but we'll just have to wait and see. Down at the south, those numbers are going to be low, as you can see here. Albany, though, boy, if that happens, 10.6, you would be the winner of the snow contest. We'll just have to wait and see how those bands fan out across the area. Here is your forecast for tonight. 18, clear early tonight. It's clear out there now, but as the evening progresses, we will see an increase in cloud cover, and then eventually, maybe as soon as 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, we might see in northern areas some of that precipitation reaching the ground. Much more likely it'll be around I think 9 a.m. would probably be a better time call for you. So far as the extended forecast is concerned, it is going to be 34 tomorrow, so above freezing. That's going to cause additional problems. But rain, sleet, and snow, winter storm warning, snow, 4 to 9 inches. As we said, we're going to be on the lower end to the southeast, on the higher end to the west and northwest, blustery. Kind of cold, windy, chilly, damp, wet is the forecast. Finally tonight, on our e-weather, we're going to show you the 7-day outlook. I want you to notice these temperatures. From a high of 34 tomorrow, down to 12 below zero for an overnight low. Little math shows, what is that, 46-degree temperature drop tomorrow. Then only climbing to 5 below zero on Monday, 13 below zero on Monday night. Then we start a warming trend as we get into Wednesday, into Thursday, back up to near freezing. But guess what? There is snow back into the forecast. That's your e-weather. We'll have more later right here on the internet.